Hi Hayden, this video is for your the journey a journey in the Arctic, John Thompson's second grade book, page 32. I don't think you need the instruction on the practical finger exercises. It's actually quite straightforward. You just have to make sure you have a good hand position and practice mainly the left hand. I would definitely do the left hand at least 3 times more than the right hand. So give your left hand like twice over with the multiple repeats, left hand alone. And if it gets tired, you can, you could maybe do left hand only on the practical finger exercises and then do both hands and then back to left hand only. In between, you can just shake your hands out. Or again, you could break it up. Like you can, plug in like a left hand exercise while you're doing Journeying the Arctic. You could do the first theme and then do the practical finger exercises and then do the second theme practice. And you could like sandwich them together just so that you don't overburden your hand. It really doesn't matter when you do those, finger exercises. A lot of the times it's just, sometimes it's better to wait until your hands are nicely warmed up. And sometimes oftentimes it's better to or have to learn new music and be reading notes like earlier on, because that's where you kind of warm up your brain. So, Journey in the Arctic. So between the first theme and the second theme, the what you need to be doing is a little bit different. The first theme, I would think that you will. You already know the notes, so the next is the execution. And the main thing that I talked about is how to keep the left hand steady legato without lifting it off the key when the right hand is hopping about. So left hand is going. So all steady left hand, regardless of what happens with the right hand. So I will, you may want to focus your attention on the left hand, but if it's hard to do, it means that you will probably have to play one hand at a time more. You will have to be able to play the right hand almost without thinking about it, because you have to have equal attention to your left hand. Because right now you're doing this, right? So when the right hand goes up, left hand is following it. Now you have to force your left hand to do its own thing regardless of the right hand. So I'll play the first part again. So the right hand there's a lot of that going up, this just shaping of the phrases, the different articulation. You will have to do that with the right hand, and left hand will do none of that. So I will play the second half of, the part that I played, both hands. So the left hand is unfazed, completely unfazed by the right hand position change, right hand staccato, right hand, slurs and so forth. I'll play the second ending starting from there. So the left hand is just, doing its own thing. So aim for that. So you just tell yourself, left hand must stay at the keys. Left hand will always be touching the keys. Right hand can lift, Left hand will remain grounded. Right hand can hop off. Okay, so that's the first theme. Second theme is a completely different exercise, because you're sort of, alternating between the left and the right hand, at least for all of the scales. And then when you have that, that part is actually more similar to the first theme, where the left hand has to stay on the keys, right hand is hopping about. So, So the part where you have these, left hand legato, right hand staccato thing, practice by itself. Left hand, correct fingering is very important. So make sure you look at the fingering numbers. It's a 3, 5, 1, 3, 2. And right hand, it doesn't matter nearly as much because you have a lot of staccato. Whenever you have to play a lot of legato, fingering is crucial. If you get the wrong fingering, you won't be able to do a very effective legato. So I'll go to the next part. I'll start this time at measure 15, the very last measure of the first page. So the fingering on it, that's a 1, and then 2, 5, 1, 2. I think you wrote it in at the Zoom lesson last time. So do follow that that fingering. Without it, it'll be hard to make the legato happen. And the right hand is pretty straightforward. Sort of 2, 5, and 1, 4. And this is a 2, 3. And I will start at 16, 17, 18. Measure 19. So left hand 3, 1, 5, 3. And legato throughout. Now the ending to this second theme is a series of ascending 8-note scales with different accidentals. So do be careful. But more so, you will have to nail the first note. And you don't want to do this. And then look around. There's no rest in between, so you have to be able to do one fell swoop for 4 measures. There's a crescendo associated with that. So, once you got the notes, make sure you can maintain that kind of a forward movement, like motion, the momentum going into the forte and the accent. Whenever you see a forte section with an accent, that's going to be fortissimo, basically. So, and loud, very loud at that point. So, and then after that, the first theme comes back. Same thing as the first theme. The first time, left hand just has to maintain the steady legato. Left hand stays on the keys. And right hand has a lot of freedom of movement. Okay? Left hand stays with the keys the whole time. No lifting of the left hand off the keys during that first theme part. Okay, now the coda. Coda is just like the ending of the second theme, except it's a lot easier because you have no black keys to worry about, all white keys, and you just have to know the starting note is a G, C, and then G, and then C, C major, rest. So I will play the coda once through. The last chord, because there is a quarter rest right before it, see, this is a little bit different, isn't it? Because at the first ending, at the ending of the second theme, you have a half note for the left hand. The very end, you have a quarter and a quarter rest. So you don't have to do the 2-5, because 2-5 might be too much of a stretch for you to be playing very loud on the last C major chord. So you can do 1-5. Over here, well, it's better to do 2-5 on that one. It doesn't say, but, in fact, it's a little better to do the 2-5 there. And this one you can play 1-5 instead. So there's a little bit of a, fingering discrepancy there that you can rewrite. You can write 1-5 for the left hand there. Right hand is also a 1-5. Here, left hand 2-5. Right hand will be a 1-5. So, 2-5 for the left hand, 1-5 for the right hand. That should help you, get the last chord last measure of those sections accurately played. So I guess that's it. I think I really believe that your biggest challenge is going to be the first theme, to make sure that your left hand is doing its own thing while the right hand does something quite different. It's almost similar to, having to play your left hand soft while the right hand plays loud. It's one of those things where it's one of those difficult skills that you have to eventually develop when you play piano, because when you play the piano you have a right hand and a left hand. And you have different set of notes for both hand, for either hand, and you'll have to do something very different for each hand too. Like as you get more, you start playing more advanced music. For instance, the Minute Waltz by Chopin, the right hand does, and then left hand does. It's completely different, and you have to make sure that the right hand is correctly and maintaining that, like a linear line, while the left hand is hopping a lot, sort of the opposite of what you have in the Journey in the Arctic. And so on. So, this Journey in the Arctic is one of those, early exercises that you will be doing, which helps you, build a foundation for playing what you call a bimanual activity, using two hands simultaneously, but with different roles and different techniques and a lot of different things. So, yes, I believe this is one of those earlier pieces. The next one where you will wind up having to do right hand and left hand quite different, to play very differently between the right and left, is at page 38, the Minuet from Don Juan. And there's not a lot of those types of music in the second grade book, but you will start to see more. There's another one at The Hare and the Hounds too. That's at page 41. The left and right are quite different. And yeah. Okay, so keep on working, and I hope the video helps. Just tell yourself left hand legato, right hand freely. Okay, right, bye.